Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Those Were the Days, where we talk about old TV through a modern lens with these fresh eyes. Today, we're going back to the 90s to have some fun, and I'm going to attempt to explain it all about this classic series, but the truth is, all I know is that I don't know nothing. So I've assembled a team of folks who know more than me. Professional fashion and etiquette consultant, TV's Travis.
Whatever.
Crafts master extraordinaire, Amy.
Do you like breaking the fourth wall? What about the fifth wall? The sixth wall? Here in 1990s Nickelodeon, we're breaking walls beyond your comprehension.
And New York art scene guy, Audie.
Oh, those were the days when your best friend had instant access to your bedroom and nobody gave it a second thought, especially and regardless of whether or not they're even the opposite sex. Oh, right, because this was Nickelodeon and not Fox, or CBS, or NBC, or ABC, or the WB.
Oh, yes, they were innocent times when it was, all those jokes were going to go over your head anyway because you were 8, 9, 10, I don't know. We're talking about a little show called Clarissa Explains It All. This was a wonderful little sitcom for kids. Sort of, I guess, kids, middle school, early high school.
Tweens.
I don't know, tweens.
We didn't have that word then, but
Yeah, it was for somebody.
Right.
And it ran on Nickelodeon back when Nickelodeon was just a zoo, and you could make up anything you wanted. This show was a big deal to me. Not a big deal, like it was just on. I'd turn on the TV and my TV was always on Nickelodeon watching Wild and Crazy Kids or a Nicktoon or this. And it's one of those shows that I watched a bunch. Despite it having the female protagonist, I was always into it. It never felt like a girly show. But that's what I thought about it. But I want to hear from you guys what your history was, if at any. We'll start with Travis.
I definitely remember the show. I remember watching it thinking that I wanted to be like Sam and have a friend who I could just climb up a ladder into their window, into their bedroom just to hang out. Like, I just thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah, I really have a lot of fond memories of watching this show. Kind of the same thing. Like, I didn't necessarily seek out watching it, but it was on a lot. And so I watched it a lot and I always enjoyed it. And I hated Ferguson.
I think everybody did.
Yeah.
Amy.
this is deep in the era of me not having cable television.
Oh shoot, yeah.
So I mean, like, there's a chance that, so let's say I was 10 when this started. So like there's a chance that, like, at my friend Doug's house, who did have cable, because we watched a fair amount of Nickelodeon when I went over to his house. So like it's a chance that I like watched it, but not enough to like remember. Like, I'm aware of it, but that's about it.
Sure. Audie.
Yeah, this is one that I was aware of and knew existed, and that's about it. I never watched it.
Wow.
So, like, I knew Clarissa Explains It All, and that's about it.
That's amazing. Yeah, because like to me, in my circles and all my friends, we were all watching Nickelodeon if they were over at my house or whatever. And Clarissa, it felt like it ran a lot when you're watching Nickelodeon. Like, and I think it was due to Nickelodeon's limited programming slate at the time. Like, they only had so many
Yeah,
shows,
probably.
so they would just play them twice a day and stuff. This one wasn't that different. It was like it would play. I think it was scheduled for 12:30 in the afternoon, like a noontime, and then 6:30, and then eventually became an anchor for Snick, which I did not realize. And that's for those not into Nickelodeon at the time. Snick was Saturday Night Nick that ran from 8 to 10. So it was like TGI Friday, but on Saturday, and targeted at kids. Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff was on that little deal. But this is one of the sitcoms that Nickelodeon did. They had a handful that they pushed out for kids to watch. This was one of them. There's Hey Dude, if you recall that one
Yep.
at all.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's a show called 15 that came down from Canada. It was like an import show. Had Ryan Reynolds on it. If you want to see babyface Ryan Reynolds, I did not like that show. I was not a fan. It was just too teen drama, for Nickelodeon. And I was 7. So what are we doing? But it was born out of this guy, Mitchell Kriegman, who had done work on SNL and written shorts and stuff, worked on Sesame Street. And his whole goal was to create a show that didn't follow any kind of stereotypes for like teenage girls at the time. Like you had your Full Houses and stuff, and that was a little skewed a little bit younger at the time, like 91. They would have been at a younger age. But he wanted to focus on like a realistic young girl doing her thing. So like the see-through phone and the cool stuff in the room and the dressing, like all that stuff seemed much more real than the crafted stuff you'd get out of like ABC or Family Channel or whatever it was at the time. So that was his whole goal. I think you kind of achieved. Then again, I'm not a girl. Amy, you're the only one here with like keen insight on whether this succeeded at kind of capturing that age.
I for sure did. I like, especially as a girl whose best friend was a guy. Like my best friends have always been guys. Like, and my best friend growing up was a guy. And so like that, I was like, okay, all right, this is nice. Yeah, I did forget how many necklaces we wore in the 90s, but that is 100% authentic. Like the clothes, I
sure.
was like, oh no, this is right. Especially Sam. Sam rolled in with that like no sleeves flannel hoodie number with the
Yeah.
t-shirt underneath. And I was like, oh
Yup.
boy, that is
So-
a very narrow timestamp.
It was the t-shirt underneath the no-sleeved flannel with a hood,
Hood.
but the flannel was each area of the vest was a different
Different
flannel
flannel.
pattern.
For sure it was. He wore a lot of flannel in this episode. We saw him 3 times, 3 glorious plaid numbers.
Yes.
I was into it.
And if that didn't give away the time that this show was made, his hair 100% did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that was a hairstyle that everybody in my middle school had.
Now it's the broccoli haired children.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
They've all
yeah.
got the broccoli hair.
Broccoli
So
hair
that's
is a
it's
thing.
the
Mhm.
same thing, right? Like I
Yeah.
see it now and I go,
Right.
no, someday you're gonna know. You're gonna know within 6 months of when a photo was taken.
Yup.
Yes.
Yeah, this was like a middle part bowl cut, but
Yep.
shaved, shaved sides
yeah.
and back. So,
Mhm.
that was definitely a style at the time. You see that on other shows like Home Improvement. I think one of the kids did the same thing. Like it
Home
was
Improvement
just
had it.
Oh, and Boy Meets World,
Boy Meets
everybody
World,
had
yeah.
it.
yeah, that's right.
Any episode,
Except
any
Corey.
issue of Teen Beat, and you're their Tiger Beat magazine, and you're there.
That's where it comes
Just
from.
floppy hair boys everywhere.
I did want to be Sam. When Travis was doing his intro, I was thinking about the same thing. I wanted that friend where I could just throw a ladder up into their window and
Yeah.
just climb up there and be the cool kid hanging out. I think I
Yeah.
wanted to be Sam because he was talking to girls and not terrified. And I was,
I mean, there's that part of it too.
yeah,
Mhm.
I was always
Um,
terrified. So
I do love the behind the scenes trivia of that set wasn't built elevated. So that
Mhm.
ladder's only like 3 rungs. And basically he had to lay down back there.
oh my gosh.
And then they'd put the ladder up and he'd get up on his knees and then walk up the ladder.
Amazing.
Oh, that's
Nice.
good.
Which, yeah.
That's good.
I mean, it makes sense.
And I mean, back then too, I remember we had a sleepover at my house, and girls came over and boys like when we were like 9, and
Yeah.
nobody thought anything of it. So like
Yeah.
this wasn't that unusual to me. I was like, it'd be cool to have a friend that was a girl I could climb in the window. But then I'm like, growing up, I was like, that would create a lot of questions, particularly nowadays. Like, what are you
Yeah.
guys doing?
Oh yeah.
What's going
We
on
had
up
no
there?
idea. We
No.
didn't know anything. Are you kidding me?
No, it's glad we had Clarissa to explain it all for us because we didn't
Yep.
know what was going on.
Mhm.
This show ran from March in 91 to October 94. So depending on your age at that time, you might have missed it. You might have been in the sweet spot. It might have been, too early for you. But that was sweet spot for me. I was about 6 to 9, 9 or 10 which was perfect. Like that's exactly when I was watching Nickelodeon, and exactly when I needed to see this kind of stuff was fun for me. Um, if you've never seen the show, which you should have watched it, because you should watch all the shows we tell you what we're gonna do. But if you didn't see it, Clarissa's all about explaining normal stuff that normal kids go through. This show covered everything from school, boys, training bras, like squabbles with her younger brother. Like it kind of didn't shy away from. It wasn't Degrassi, if you're familiar with that show.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Wow.
it wasn't that. We didn't have
Let me
teen
say,
pregnancy going on
I
like
was gonna
Clarissa
say,
explained.
Degrassi didn't explain anything. They just threw it out there.
It just, oh, here you go.
Oh,
What's
it's
gonna
the
make the people?
90210 of the of the
Mhm.
12-year-old set.
Yeah, it's like can we get to clutch their pearls today? This show wasn't that, but it did cover things that were important to kids at the time, which was pretty great. Ran for 5 seasons of 13 episodes each, but I did learn that the 5 seasons were not really seasons when the show was running. It was just kind of a mishmash of episodes, like in sequence, but they didn't really define where seasons were going to hit. And I think this is probably the nature of Nickelodeon at the time. They're just like, I don't know, what do we have to air?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a little Nickelodeon. It's a little cable. Like they didn't have to conform necessarily to the same types of things. So yeah, because I noticed that I'm like 91 to 94, but it's 5 seasons. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, they just ran what they had shot and edited. It's just okay, time for another Clarissa episode. And kids too are less picky. Like kids will watch the same thing 40 times.
Oh,
So when a new episode came on that we'd seen before, it didn't matter. You just watched it
Yeah.
again.
Oh yeah. Like I may not
Yo,
have
it's
remembered
this
this
one.
from Nickelodeon, but I remember that of Nickelodeon, just everything rerunning all the time, and I didn't care.
No, it's just you're gonna watch it. It's
I mean,
actually
now I'm an adult that
comforting.
just watches this, that just puts on like the same show on loop forever because the neurospicy demands it.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
else is crazy, but I can watch the same 14 seasons of a show. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, and we forget things faster as we age.
Yeah.
So it's like,
This is
have I
true.
seen this episode? I don't know. I only have
Okay,
like a
now
10 episode memory buffer. After that, I'm like basically just
Okay, I'm curious. What's your comfort
Overriding.
show, Amy? What is it?
Oh, it's Bob's Burgers.
good,
Currently.
good choice.
Currently, Bob's Burgers.
That's
fair.
awesome. What else do we got in here in the facts? Yeah, they wanted to tackle lessons without being cheesy like some of the other sitcoms that were out at the time. I did find some cool information about guest stars because this show did have a handful of guests come on. This is clearly before they were super famous, but their faces you would recognize. James Vanderbeek guested on the show
Nice.
at one point.
Mhm.
Wayne Brady guested on the
Oh,
show at one
snap.
point. He was a pizza
Wow.
guy. We all know the Wayne Brady. And Michelle Trachtenberg was also a name I recognized from the list of guest stars
Oh,
who
wow.
played both. She was on Pete and Pete. She was a Nickelodeon kind of always
Mhm.
there. The first Nickelodeon movie ever made was Harriet the Spy, in which she played the titular character
Right.
of Harriet the Spy.
And James Vanderbeek, I did read he was in the episode. I think it was just after the one that we watched, that included Clarissa's first kiss,
oh,
and it was
Ooh.
also Melissa Joan Hart's first on-screen kiss. And the trivia goes that they gave her a bunch of headshots of potentials and had her look them over, and she looked at them, and according to the trivia, so grain of salt,
Grain of salt.
she looked at James Vanderbeek's and said, "Not him," and then they went with him. So
Dang.
Brutal.
Ouch.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah,
He wasn't Dawson yet.
Yeah,
Nope.
that hurt a lot. So you did mention I haven't even gone over who starred in this show. Melissa Joan Hart is who starred in this show, and if you don't know her from Clarissa Explains It All, you might know her from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And if you
Mhm.
don't know her from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, you might know her from Melissa and Joey, a more recent sitcom she was in. This lady's
Mhm.
done TV for years and
Yeah.
has worked fairly consistently through the whole thing. I remember I was into Sabrina the Teenage Witch solely because I was into Clarissa. Like it was like
Sure.
a continuing story
Yeah.
to me. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the girl from that show. And that was a fun show. I like Sabrina.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it ran for a long time. It was really good. Most recently, she's been in some Lifetime movies and stuff, doing her thing. I think just
Yep.
happy, cutting some checks. Seems
Mhm.
seems like the deal nowadays. I'd be happy to be working. So she plays Clarissa Darling. It also stars her younger brother Ferguson, played by Jason Zimbler. Ferguson Darling, her mom Elizabeth Hess, Janet Darling, and Joe O'Connor as Marshall Darling. And I'd kind of forgotten the parents in this show. They are your quintessential early 90s parents.
No.
Mhm.
This mom is the mommest of moms. Like,
So mom.
just
Mhm.
ultimate mom.
The
Mom
mommest of
skirt.
jeans.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
if mom jeans were a person,
Yeah.
it's her. Yeah, no, we did the skirt thing for sure.
Yeah.
The mom skirt in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom
Yeah.
skirt,
And I was
mom sweater.
watching this episode. I kept thinking, I know these parents from something else.
Hmm.
I looked, not her. I've never done like this show was one of the first things she did, and she did like a half dozen other acting jobs
Yeah.
over the the next 20 something years. The dad kept acting, just TV character acting, episode here, episode there type
Mhm.
guy until even up to today.
Oh,
So
wow.
but yeah, Melissa Joan Hart actually got into producing a lot of her stuff too. One of the
Yeah.
things on her page was they said this was one of the last things she ever auditioned for
Oh, she just got picked
because
up after that?
she either got picked up or she produced her own things. Like Sabrina, she was a producer of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh,
Her and her
wow.
mom. So
So
yeah,
she
a
knew the
lot of the stuff that
business.
she did after that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean, credit to her
for
for
sure.
getting into that side of things
Mhm.
early.
Yeah, I
And one of
imagine she'd
those
pick
that
up a lot.
it's like the the not terrible story of child actor going downhill, having
Right.
terrible parents or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
she survived and like learned the business and worked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. That's really great to hear. Yeah, so it's funny. Like, I was with you, Travis. I could have sworn that mom had been in other stuff that I was
Yeah.
familiar with, but no, she doesn't even have an IMDb picture. Like, it's not. She
Nope.
just
Dang.
worked some and hung it up,
Great.
which is fine. Yeah, but I was just so struck by her because I just forgotten her and how mom she was in voice, in mannerism, in lines. I mean, it was kind of
Mhm.
unbelievable. I was like, you just took
Mhm.
to not have a stereotypical daughter, you had stereotypical parents, like, big time.
Right.
Yeah.
Sam, her friend that comes through the window, often played by Sean O'Neill, he did a few things, not a ton. He kind of worked steadily for a little while. And then we had a couple guest stars, and the guest star on this show is played by Shiri Rappaport, plays Piper Henderson, because this one's all about a visitor from out of town. She's done some stuff. She was on like CSI or something, or NYP. She did some
Mhm.
cop shows and stuff. So I don't know if you'd recognize her from there, but I felt like I knew her from something. She just had a very recognizable face.
She was also like it was real like the craft energy.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Maybe
Like
that's what it was. Yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
the craft. Yeah, Astigma said he remembers the actress who played Piper from CSI. So yeah, it's she's been doing stuff. So that's really cool. But to get into the episode a little bit, this show, I didn't know anything about the episode we were going to watch. I couldn't remember it. I just looked at top rated shows, and I didn't want to just pick the best show according to IMDb. I picked the one that looked the most interesting to me, that might have some of the stuff that we care about. All I wanted was good Ferguson annoying stuff, which I knew was going to be there. I knew Sam needed to be there. I was hoping we'd get an appearance from the alligator, but Clarissa's alligator only showed up sporadically in the first season. And the rumor behind that is that they were told like the ASPCA was not cool with the alligator on set or something like that. Like, his animal protection
Interesting. Okay.
stuff.
As somebody who has never seen the show, you're going to have to explain the alligator.
You're going to back this up a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
here, bud.
Sorry. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, so the alligator was Clarissa's pet, and it lived in a swimming pool, like a little kiddie pool in her room. Not a big alligator, like a baby alligator, like,
Okay.
less than a foot
The
long.
kind that makes laser noises.
They just
Which, if you
hiss.
haven't heard baby alligators make laser noises, you need to go look for it right now because it's so good.
Yeah, that was all it was, and it was often, I'm pretty sure it was the same shot used over and over again, just cut back into the scene.
Probably.
But the alligator was in there a handful of times. It was just one of those quirky things they wanted to give her to set her apart from other other characters of the era. It was pretty fun to me. Um,
Yeah, probably after one season, they were like, "Yeah, this was the mistake."
Yeah, it's like when you add a
Now
baby
what?
to your show and they're like, we're
Uh,
gonna hire you for 4 more seasons. You're like, I don't want the baby in the show. Like, what if we didn't have a baby in the show? That would be good. It's always a mistake. Never have your characters have
Always.
babies. It just gets
Always.
weird. You don't know what to do with them. It's just complicated. They can only work from like 8 a.m. to 10. It's stupid. But anyway, all right, this episode, Piper comes for a visit. What's it called? Piper comes to visit. I had forgotten about monologues at the beginning of the show. That was something that was new to me, and it's kind of setting the stage for what we're going to talk about in this episode of Clarissa Explains It All. She's bored.
Well, yeah, because the show was kind of like if you took Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Yeah.
and highly sanitized it for TV and just made it a younger girl.
Yes,
That's basically what it is.
that's what we're
It's
doing.
it's almost like there's bits of it that almost like if it was now, because it's not dissimilar from Doogie Howser's, diary
Yeah.
entries at the end.
mhm.
Or
Yeah.
even Sex in the City, right? Like it's like the same thing, except it was the 90s, so we're just doing video. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
now it would be
Right.
their like TikTok, right?
Oh,
She'd be
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
like a TikTok to tell you what this entire episode's gonna be about.
Yeah. Before that, I was gonna say like The Office, Parks and Rec kind of thing, mockumentary
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He just made me think of people using TikToks for intros to shows, and I'm broken now. That would just
Just then the whole show,
awful.
just the whole show in vertical.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They tried that. It didn't work.
It's not good.
It lasted
No.
for about a month. I don't. It didn't work well. People don't
4
want to
by
watch
3,
TV.
forget it. Forget that. We're
Blech.
going all the way back.
Yeah. But this monologue was all about being bored. And she does a lot of dream sequencing. I forgot all about the dream sequencing. How fun would that be to write on a show where you like could do anything you wanted, really?
Oh yeah.
Because you could just squeeze it into a dream sequence because that's part of your format.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dream
Right.
sequences isn't something weird for one episode. It's what you do in an episode. Kind of like Muppet Babies used to do with you, like Imagination Land. You can do anything you want because you're doing it all in your head.
And it's also going to be fun for the actors to be able to
Oh.
like not just stay the same character all the time, but actually play around a little bit.
Oh yeah, and we had some fun dream sequence stuff in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
episode that I got a kick out of. But the first, we definitely are in the early 90s because we are going to stereotype the bejesus out of other cultures right here at the beginning.
Yeah, we are.
Which was great because she's talking about being bored in different places and brings up these different scenarios. Switzerland being our first, which is about chocolate and churning butter and
Mhm.
wooden shoes. Which I don't know. Did the Swiss have wooden shoes?
No,
They
isn't
don't.
it the
That's the
Dutch?
I mean,
Swedes,
the
right?
Dutch are
Dutch,
known
yeah.
for.
Yeah, the Dutch. Yeah, and she was, but it said Swiss Miss was the title of it, of her dream sequence for that.
Yeah.
So
Now, I will say it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay stereotyping like white people. Like that's okay. Like we're
Mhm.
not like we didn't go that bad. Like it's
Yeah.
fine.
it's funny you say
It's
that
fine.
because the next we go to Tibet.
Right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the Tibet one. I blocked it out.
Shangri-La.
Shangri blah. But yeah, Stigma's right. They didn't try to do accents. They didn't do anything that could,
Yeah.
that in today's
Right.
eyes would be that offensive. It's just people meditating in Tibet, which I don't know what Tibet looks like, but I didn't think that looked that when I think Tibet, I didn't think of the room they were in. But who am I? I
No,
don't
but
know.
That was the room they could make on the soundstage.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, write us in. Tell us if it was accurate. Go watch the episode. Give us some email. And then of course France, which I don't think. I think that was basically the American
It
France
was really good.
stereotype.
I enjoyed it a lot.
What was the
that was
Jerry
great 'cause
Lewis
they're wearing-
joke? Did anybody get
Well,
the
'cause they're
Jerry
wearing-
Lewis?
They're wearing like striped shirts and berets, sitting in a cafe, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
she's bored, doesn't know what to do, and it's her friends like, well, we could be rude to tourists.
So
Mhm.
good.
And I think
So good.
And then it was we could go to the Jerry Lewis movie marathon or whatever,
Yeah.
because that's the joke, is that the French love Jerry Lewis for some
Right.
reason.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The French.
Oh, you're not familiar with that? Oh,
I am
okay. I
not.
thought that was
Yeah, that was
fairly
the
common
joke.
knowledge. That was a big joke, especially back back in the day of like
Mhm.
the French people just love Jerry Lewis movies, and people in the States couldn't figure out one of them.
Right?
Count me in. I had no idea this was even a thing. So, yeah, it's ennui. The word ennui was actually used in the episode.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
Right.
used in
yeah,
the
After
Mhm.
this,
for
that
sure.
she said ennui, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, all right, we're smart. We can do this. And then we get the intro music. We break into the intro music. And this just like we've referred to many times in the show, sleeper agent activated. Like I had buried this deep in my brain, and I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
this is great. Because I remember just watching her. I was always fascinated with her trying to write her name with the letter and then somebody coming in and like flipping it out of the way. And
Mhm.
that always blew my mind that that was something you could do on television. I mean, I'm a kid who has watched Jurassic Park. I watched dinosaurs wander around, and Clarissa writing her name on a screen just somehow was way more interesting to me. like, like, whoa, you could do that?
Yeah.
Um, which was super, super great. That theme song was performed by Rachel Sweet, I think was the name I found for that one, and consists of just nanas and
Yep.
Yep.
random phrases like way cool. But man, if it's not catchy.
I was gonna say again, I did not watch the show. I don't remember ever watching the show, but I still knew that theme song.
Yep.
See, it's
Like,
theme songs are so important. We could do an
Yeah.
entire episode of this show, a season just covering theme songs
Oh,
and
yeah.
what our favorites are. There are just so many good ones. A Stigma says the theme reminded him of Doug, which is also a good theme song.
Yeah.
Doug is one that
Similar.
gets caught in your head forever.
I'm doing it right now. I would start singing it.
It's so great. So we got our interest music, and then we get her trying to find ways to deal with her boredom, and it involves a lot of crafts. And all I thought when
Mhm.
she was picking up all these crafts, like baking and stuff, is Amy, because I was like, Amy does a lot of crafts.
Listen, that thing she was knitting was crochet, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine because there was a big discussion about that I saw recently about because usually when you see knitting performed or drawn, especially drawn, right? The
Mhm.
knitting needles are like pointing down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that is like you can knit that way, but it's like this super specific kind of knitting. And like so she at least had the knitting needles, in a more or less correct fashion. But the whole like, yeah, I'm just gonna do one thing after another after another. And I was
Mhm.
like, it's okay. You have undiagnosed ADHD. You're a girl. It's all right. That
Yep.
you'll be fine. Don't worry. When you're 40, it gets way worse.
Mhm.
And you just it's fine.
I
Good
uh
luck.
I thought all that stuff was pretty cool stuff to do, though. I mean, I guess if you're not
Yeah.
into it and you don't want to make anything, you're just trying to kill time, it could be pretty boring. Like the VHS
Mhm.
tapes, Dominoes was awesome. I always wanted to do
Yeah.
that with those hard plastic rental cases you
Yeah.
get.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Blockbuster didn't have the just nondescript black ones, but the like your mom and pop video rental places, like Video Warehouse and stuff, would have
Mhm.
those that came in those hard shell
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
textured black cases. And sometimes the gray ones. And you're like, where'd this gray case come from? You guys run out of the nice ones? I don't understand. Was video renting back in the day was something else.
Oh
We
my
talk
gosh,
about
yeah.
that
Mhm.
in this episode. I loved going to the video store. It was just the best
Yep.
Friday night ever. So we learn that we're going to hopefully break this boredom, and Clarissa won't be bored anymore because her mom has told her that her friend Koki is sending her daughter to come see them and stay with them
Mhm.
while she looks at a school. Her daughter's name is Piper. She's coming to look at colleges. So I guess this ages Clarissa a little bit because I'm guessing they're close to the same age at this point,
Yeah.
or at least both. Clarissa's like in high school
Mhm.
by now, like maybe freshman
Yeah.
in high school or something like that.
Yeah.
So Piper's coming to visit. So she's like, okay, good. At least we'll have somebody new. But around
And
this time,
she's from the city.
right?
So
Yep.
obviously she's interesting.
Yeah, she'll be
Yes.
cool and fun to talk to, and I'll learn some stuff. It'll be great.
Because what's more interesting than wait, this cake? Can we talk about that cake
Yeah,
for
you
a
can
second?
talk
Because
about
Love
good
that cake.
lord, it's like the layers upside down, and she's getting like the most minuscule amount of icing to do this scene. Like this huge
That
knife.
was that was killing me every time she would dip into the bowl of frosting. She'd just put like the tiniest amount on there, and then just sort of mime putting it on the cake.
Listen,
Like,
she didn't have Great British Bake Off. We didn't
No.
know. Like,
yeah,
We
that's
only
true.
you had
I
your
learned
mean,
from.
but
Wilton
she was
yearbook
trying
that you got at
something
the
doing
craft
that
store.
inverted. Lord.
I
Yep.
know. See, it was balanced. It didn't
Yeah.
fall over. It's
I wonder
probably
how many
That
times it
cake.
took props to get that to work.
Yeah.
Right.
There's definitely a dowel jammed through the middle of
For
it
sure.
on a
Mhm.
thing. Like, this
Oh,
this
yeah.
is not a fully edible cake. It's probably couch foam if we're really looking close.
Probably.
We get our first appearance from Sam. He climbs in the window and is apparently being gaslit by a local girl into
Yep.
like marrying him or him marrying her. It's a
Yeah.
real bad like this is a real thing. This is just a leveled up version of being a boy getting chased around by girls on the playground. It's just new. It's just a grown up version of this.
Mhm.
He's a cool dude. I don't blame her. Look at the guy.
Mhm.
He seems all right. She sent him what he called a passionogram, which I thought was kind of hilarious. It contained cologne and fruit and stuff.
Yeah. Lord.
Which is perfect. But he's trying to get Clarissa to help him get rid of her. I
I-
can't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I love the random little fugitive reference too.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
timely at the time because the movie had just come out. So like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. All the references in
Uh,
this were
I was like,
timely.
when was that? And then I looked it up. It's like, oh wait, that was like right
Oh.
then. Dang.
Yeah.
I had to look because if it had been before the movie came out, then they're referencing a TV
Right.
show from
Yeah.
20 years prior.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Which
and
threw
who
me.
would talk about a TV show from 20 years ago? Who could possibly have an interest in that?
Absolutely.
Nobody.
I don't know.
Nobody.
Nobody
Right.
I know.
Nobody, dear listener.
Nobody would talk about that. Yeah. So Sam talks to her about the girls chasing him. Ferguson. They're downstairs, and
Oh,
Ferguson
Lord.
is very excited about this New York socialite that he's going to entertain with his like tea. I don't even remember what he'd set out.
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah,
was
finger
just
sandwiches.
finger
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Like the cucumber sandwiches.
Yeah.
Except they were all out of watercress, so it was blown.
Yeah.
Like, also, I never made the connection when I was younger, but the structure of this family is very Family Ties,
Oh yeah.
because you got mom and dad who were like kind of hippies, and now
Yeah.
they're just fairly straight laced,
Mhm.
and the quirky daughter, and then the little mini Republican son.
Yeah.
That's a
Which,
good
by the way,
observation.
like
Yeah.
for no good reason, they've updated, like his IMDb photo is updated to like him as an adult, in spite of the fact that he only ever did essentially this and like a couple other things at the same time. And he looks way more like Andrew Tate than I'm really comfortable with. So
Yeah, he
it's
does.
just, it's not.
If
like,
Andrew
I-
Tate was Irish, yeah.
Yes. It's just, I don't know. So yeah, I'm watching the pipeline and going, mm-mm.
You're like, I don't know if this is okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's
Mm-mm.
probably because he does a lot of cons. I would imagine this dude is one of those guys that shows up
Yeah.
at cons
Yeah.
and
That's
has to have an
probably
updated
true.
IMDb so you know what he
Mhm.
looks like, because he doesn't look like Ferguson anymore,
Right.
like at all. He just
No, he
doesn't
has
look
no,
like himself.
the one feature, the one identifying feature,
Yeah.
no
Yep.
longer available.
No,
Nope.
I feel that. He had
Mhm.
red hair, now he has none.
None.
So you won't even know who he is. Disappears into the background. But he's excited to see Piper because he's going to get to show Clarissa how the city socialites live, how they dress, how they operate. It's a big deal. Then Piper shows up. And Piper she has walked out of a Nirvana music video, or
Mhm.
Pearl Jam
Mhm.
or something. It's like a weird, like you were saying, it's the craft mixed with early grunge. I don't know what it is.
What year did Hot
Yeah.
Topic open? Because I feel
Oh,
like that.
Well, but she was from New York, so that was all thrift store stuff.
Oh,
she
yeah,
was
sure.
buying and
Yeah.
dressing up
Yeah.
for sure.
But was she going to CBGB's to watch shows? I don't know. What's
Yeah.
her look?
Well, what did her mom say later on? They go to juice bars.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Juice bars. I would go to a juice bar.
They drink
I mean, I
juice.
would too.
All right.
Drink
Seems like a
juice.
good time.
And your Jamba Juice open.
Piper It's like New York, 1992. Jamba
It
Juice.
probably is.
Piper took the wind out of my sails real quick. Like, I don't know what to do with people like Piper. Like when they show up and they're just like, what, bump bump. It's just, I'm like, crap. I gotta work now. I gotta like figure out how to be your friend or just ignore you, and I don't know how to ignore you, so I'm just gonna have to make this work. Worst house guest ever. Because she comes in and it's one of those not looking anybody in the eye, rolling her eyes at everything. This is
Doesn't
what
want to do anything.
Yeah, this is what one of my middle school teachers thought our entire generation was made of. Because I remember him saying, "You all are the whatever generation, just whatever, no principles." I'm like, dude, the Gen X's are the whatevers. I'm a millennial. I got some cares, but it's mostly about Star Wars. You're not wrong. You're just mostly wrong. It's there's still I care about some things.
I have to say, I did not remember whatever being this early in our lexicon.
Yeah, it apparently was.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Well, it might have been. I don't know. Could have been age related. Who knows? But yeah, the whatever thing was around. So Piper shows up. They get her kind of settled. Clarissa's like, "This is gonna be interesting." But she does the work. Clarissa's trying to pull this girl out of her shell. Sitting at the window looking at nothing, and Clarissa's like, "We could do all this stuff," and brings up all these cool topics. I'm like, all of those sound fun. What I loved about this scene was her pulling out the newspaper to look for movie times, like what movies are showing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that took me back.
Boy.
I remember Saturday come around, you just look at the movie times. My mom's just like, "Gotta do something with this kid. We're gonna go see a movie. What's it gonna be?"
Especially in the summer when it's hot and you don't have air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
You can go sit in the movie theater for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And it was the time before even movie phone, so you couldn't there wasn't
Right.
even the movie phone
Yeah.
hotline you could call to get times. You had to look in the newspaper or drive by and see the marquee. That was the only way you knew.
Absolutely. And I did some research too, because she mentions two movies that are playing right now. She mentions an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and a Steven Spielberg movie. She doesn't say the movie titles. She just says that we could go see the new Arnold movie.
So I'm going to guess. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. We can do that.
This is good.
This will be fun.
Based on context clues and what I know of the era, I'm going to say that the Spielberg movie was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And the Schwarzenegger movie was probably Last Action Hero.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Travis with the win. Those were absolutely what they were going to see. Unless those two girls really wanted to see Schindler's List.
Unlikely.
I mean,
although
I don't know. Piper may have.
Yeah, she's a little,
He's the film snob.
Yeah, but if Clarissa was picking the movie, it was Last Action Hero came out in 1993, and Schindler's List and Jurassic Park came out in the same year, which shows the absolute breadth of talent that Steven Spielberg is, because those are very different films. To come out.
Jurassic Park was the first grown-up movie that my friend Doug and I went to go see without a grown-up.
Oh, dang. Look at you.
Then I had nightmares about dinosaurs for weeks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. I still remember seeing that at the Dollar Theater, and the raptor in the kitchen thing. As soon as he hit the stove, I realized I was literally sitting on top of my seat in the movie theater.
Oh, that's great. I saw it at the Dollar Theater too. My friend's mom took us, and that was the first movie I sat in the front row to watch the movie as a kid. I was 8. And I don't remember being terrified. I just remember loving it. And then every movie after that, I wanted to sit in the front row. Now I don't do that. I don't do that anymore.
You have to lovingly select exactly the correct seat
Yes.
ahead of time on the website with your
Yeah, I like that better than the whole I have to get there 45 minutes early to sit where I want.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole
I
reserve
like
a seat.
my theater has Lux level. So there's the commoners down below, and then I'm up doing the meme thing up in the balcony, and they will bring me food.
Ooh, very nice.
Like I can just order it on my phone, and they just bring it to me.
Oh man, it's like
And
the
it's
difference
21
of being,
plus up there.
Ooh,
nice.
it's like it's $10 for normal people seats or 15 for exclusive seats. And I was like, Yeah, $15.
Yeah, I
I'll
wish it
take
was
it. Let's go.
$15.
I know it's
Mhm.
not. I'm using
It's
very
not
arbitrary
$15.
numbers
Whew.
for yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Um yeah, so they get excited about or wait, she gets excited about the movies because they meet in the middle, they meet on movie stuff because she wants to be a film student,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So she's like all into like talking about movies, and then somehow it dissipates very quickly. And she's
Well,
back to being like, whatever,
yeah.
I don't want to do the thing.
I
Um
love that the movie they talk about is the seventh seal of all movies.
oh yeah, that's
Right?
right. They
Mhm.
did mention that. This show really knew its pop culture. Like it wanted to be in the
Mhm.
conversation. Wanted you to know that it knew what it was talking about.
Right.
Um, and I don't remember where we got after that. I just wrote down the commercial breaks were great because I really like the little. You can kind of watch Clarissa at different ages because all the little segues were her when she was
Yeah,
much younger
very
and then
yeah.
older. It was kind of fun to see those happen. They filmed them all and then just used them around.
Well, this is when
Um,
Sam shows up because the ladder comes and
that's
Yeah,
right.
it's
Piper's
just
just
like
kind of
there's
like,
a boy.
oh, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's still got a problem with this girl that's chasing him around, and they're picking no, it's not picking out China patterns
That's
this
later.
time. That's later
No.
on. I don't remember precisely what they were talking about then. But regardless, this girl's after Sam, and she's just not letting up. And then we have this Sally Jesse Raphael dream sequence. This was so
I
fun
love
to
that.
me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like
So it's back in the day, there was this lady called Sally Jesse Raphael.
she
She
had
had a
three
talk
names.
show
What was her
and she
deal?
had glasses.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she still
Mhm.
has the red glasses. I looked up a
Yeah, she
picture of
does.
her. It is a trademark thing. She had this
Mhm.
very early 90s bob haircut thing
Yep.
and the red glasses. And I don't know what her draw was. Like, this was at the same time as Mari and Phil Donahue. And
I
Yep.
think it was that she
No,
was the woman.
it was before that.
Yeah.
Like Donahue
Yeah.
spun off of her.
really?
Like he saw her show, was like, that's something I should do. Like
Oh,
I was
wow.
reading that a little bit today. So like she was kind of one of the first to really do this kind of show
Wow.
back in the day.
And
The
Oprah was like the
only
queen of the whole thing.
Right.
yeah.
Oprah came along and took over the genre from everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that show being on the air. I never saw it, but the
Right.
thing, whenever I hear the name Sally Jesse Raphael, the thing that immediately jumps to my mind, there was, I think it was a Mad TV sketch, and they had Sally Jesse Raphael, but it was three people in one giant suit. So they had Sally. So there was Sally, then there was Jesse, and then there was Raphael. And so if I hear that name, I hear that every
Oh,
time in my
that's so
head.
great. Clarissa did a great job. Melissa Joan Hart did a great job
Yeah.
pretending to be
Oh,
her,
it was
which was super fun.
fantastic.
I loved her dad playing the Swedish guy. I don't even remember what his point was,
Oh yeah.
but he brought up psychocinematic disorders. I was
Mhm.
like, that's pretty good. I like
Whatever
that
that
joke.
accent he was doing was fantastic.
Oh,
I
it was
don't know what
So
hilarious.
was,
good.
but it was good.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. And Ferguson was you author of You Are What You Wear, which I thought was pretty
Mhm.
great. And then her mom was Bessie Jessie Raphael.
Right.
And looked just like her with the red
Uh.
glasses and everything. And her New York accent was fantastic. It was all in all,
Mhm.
that whole sequence was great. Um, so this is when Piper had gone out to look at colleges.
She went
and
out for
then-
the interview for the
That's
one.
right.
Yeah.
The interview for the college. When she comes back, it was raining, and she's just soaking wet and be like, I
Just
just
damp.
wanted to walk in the
Walk
rain.
in the rain.
Mhm.
Emo before emo really took off.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
was super triggered by this because she totally just walks into the house with those wet combat boots on, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? The 40-year-old man in me came out with a vengeance. It's like, get your
Take
shoes
your
off my
shoes
clean
off.
floor. What do you think you're doing? Were you raised in a barn? I don't know what to say yet, but yeah, that really bothered me a lot. And so we find out a little bit more about Piper. Piper's not messed up because she's just a jerk. Her mom is overbearing. Like we learned with Clarissa having a conversation with her that she wants to go to this film school in New York. Her mom told her she has to come here because it was the place that she went and it's going to be great and all this stuff. She's like, I don't want to do that. So Clarissa's great. She's like, just call your mom. Nowadays, we text really innocuous, weird messages to each other to get to the point.
Right.
But back then, you just had to talk to someone if you wanted to talk to someone.
Right.
It's not great content for your "Am I the a-hole" Reddit posts, but
No.
you could actually have a conversation with somebody and learn things. So they call up her mom, and we get the one-sided of the conversation thing on the telephone where her mom is clearly cutting her off left and right. It's just not working.
Yep.
Yeah. So Clarissa learns that this isn't going to help. So she makes up this plan. We're going to call and tell your mom all these things that she's going to worry enough to come down here so you guys can have a face-to-face chat.
Right.
Kind of a brilliant plan, really.
It really
it
was.
was.
I like that she said she's eating nothing but ketchup. That was a
Ketchup.
great that was a great warning. Like, I don't know what's happening. She's only one. Nobody should eat this much ketchup.
I loved
I
it because
like
it was. I
ketchup.
like ketchup too, but I usually have it on something.
That was good. That was really good. So they call her mom, trick her into coming down. Sam shows up for a minute again, more troubles, I think. Then Koki shows up, and boy, is she a handful.
Yeah, she is.
She is just
The best part, though, right, is because Clarissa asks her mom. She's like, because there's like a knock at the door, right?
yeah.
Clarissa asks her mom. She's like, "Hey, what would you do if you could see Koki right now?" And she's like, "Oh, I'd be so excited." And she opens the door, and there she
There
is.
it
Yeah.
is. Ta-da! Yeah, just runs in full tilt, talking 90 miles an hour. I was like, this woman's a lot. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, slow down, lady. And like, and I love it. She brings bags. It was like, oh, are you staying? Yeah. Oh, as long as it takes. Like, okay. Now I have
Right.
another extra human living in my house for who knows how long. She just invited herself in. But we have this good, like, not a big heart to heart. It's not a Full House level play the music kind of thing.
No,
But it is a really convincing kind of look at yourself moment
Right.
because Koki's been telling her what to do, and Clarissa asked about Koki's experience. I think it was Clarissa asking about it.
Yeah, it was Clarissa.
Yeah, and Koki's like, oh yeah, I never would have let my mom tell me where to go because I had my dreams and I wanted to go here and all this stuff. And she's like, and she's like, oh no, I'm doing the thing, telling my daughter to do all this stuff. It was good. It was solved really quickly, but it was still like a really good point was made.
Yeah.
And we learned Piper's mostly just bitter because she doesn't get to do anything she wants to do. Ever. Her mom's driving her entire life. So that was pretty cool. And then so they get all that resolved, and we still got Sam hanging out with this Maria Teresa, who's still after him, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And Piper, who's cool now because she's got all this resolved, is like, why don't you just tell her about your New York girlfriend? And it's like, really? And so that's what happens. It ends on a good note in that story. And then one of my favorite scenes is the next one when her parents have been out partying with Koki all night.
Right.
And Ferguson is like putting stuff down and sits a coffee cup down so softly, and her mom is like, Ferguson, you have to be so loud.
So when Koki shows up, they're looking at photos from college because they
Right,
all
yeah.
went to college together, and they're looking at Oktoberfest. And so my favorite thing is when they're hungover the next morning, and the mom is like, "We're not 18 anymore," and I'm like, "Surely you mean 21?"
Right.
Surely.
No, that is
Also,
one
hockey-
thing from this show is her parents were hippies. Like Travis was dead on with the
Yeah.
Family Ties reference. Like there's even an episode where there's a big event happening and there's protesting, and Clarissa and Sam want to go down and protest, and her parents are like, yeah, we used to do all that as kids. Like they make a big deal out of it. Like it's,
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever heard the words hell no on a TV show on Nickelodeon. Because Sam was
dang.
walking around with a sign that said hell no, we won't go, and was chanting it walking through the neighborhood. And I was like, this is on my kids' show, I'm like, I can't believe they would say that. And you know how impactful it was because I remember it. Like it's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Curse words on Nickelodeon. Can you believe it?
Scandal.
Scandal. It was a lot. But yeah, that was Clarissa Explains It All. It's kind of how the show typically goes. You know, she finds a situation and resolves it because she can explain it all. She's Clarissa.
Mm-hmm.
The one
Um,
thing we didn't get in the episode, aside from obviously mentioning the alligator from season one,
yeah.
was, um, and I thought this was really cool, is that Clarissa played video games a lot in the
Mm-hmm.
series. And it was a thing that the creator really wanted to have her do to make, because especially back then, video games were what boys played and
Yeah.
girls didn't, especially in TV. And so he wanted to make it a point that she would play video games a lot. And I liked that
Yeah.
about the show, because I do remember like her being a gamer and being, and I think that's one of the reasons why at that age I didn't mind this show, because as you said, it didn't feel like odd to me. It just felt like somebody I would hang out with.
Yeah. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like a girly show.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Mhm.
like, Rainbow Bright or something that, I mean, Rainbow Bright's cool now, but at 6-year-old me would be like, yeah, watch He-Man or something. But like, I
See,
mean,
I was
really.
into Rainbow Bright. Dang it.
Well, I'm
Rainbow
just
Bright
saying,
was
like,
great.
there was a clear attempt to capture certain audiences with
Sure.
content. And
Mhm.
Clarissa bridged the gap, and they proved it, and actually inspired other female-led shows to come along. There was other Nickelodeon shows. They mentioned the Mystery Files of Shelby Woo at one point. That was like late stage
yeah.
Nickelodeon, but it was still
Mhm.
like they just proved with this show that you could attract both audiences if you if you did it right, if you respected the people that were watching the show and weren't just trying to
As
like,
well as have a lesson in the show without feeling heavy-handed about it
yeah,
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Definitely came across this one.
doesn't have to play synthesizer music and have like really heartfelt stuff. It doesn't have to be so
Right.
cheeseball. It
Mhm.
could be cool.
Uh,
And that was Nickelodeon's whole goal. Let's do stuff that's cool for kids.
Yeah.
Let's give them something more to enjoy. And that, I mean, I think they pulled it off. But that's just my opinion. I would love to know where you guys landed on Carissa Explains It All. Did you like it? The odd question would be, would you watch more? Adding your at our ages, but would we watch more? Travis, how about you?
Yeah, this was a nice trip down memory lane. I hadn't thought about this show in forever until you brought it up, but it was what I remembered it being. And I mean, I'm not going to rush out to watch more of it, but it's the type of thing that if I just wanted a nostalgia trip, this would be a good one.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So now we got Amy and Audie who both have not watched it before. So Amy, where'd you land on it?
I I love it. I feel like I don't know if it's just if it's just too close to home. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to go back. I did
Mhm.
it once, man. And I mean, and that was right. Like I played video games and my best friend was a boy and you know what I mean? And like I do not need to go back to that time in my life at all. And I think that more than the show itself is maybe why I was like, I can't do this.
that's
Look,
that's fair
that's
enough.
quite valid.
Yeah, TV shows can be time travel, and sometimes you don't want to go there.
I don't want
Uh,
to go there.
it's totally fair. Audie, how about you?
Yeah, I dug it. It was fun to watch. So it was fun to, have context behind, always hearing about Clarissa and now actually seeing the show. I thought it was a lot of fun. So I'd be like Travis. I'm not rushing out to see it, but if it was on or want to put it on the background for something
Mhm.
different, I'd do that.
Yeah, yeah. Sweet. Well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it to a degree. Because it was definitely a fun trip down memory lane for me. I haven't watched that show since, I mean, the late 90s at the earliest. So it's been a very long time, and it was just as fun now as it was then to me. Um but we have a whole lot more female protagonists to watch. Well, we have two. Um, but we have two's
Which
a
for us
lot.
is a lot.
We have a lot of minutes of television left. So Amy, where are we
Yes.
going next?
We're gonna revisit a show
Oh
that
boy.
we watched way, 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 way back. That I did also bring. And that had I known you all had so little experience with it, would have maybe not picked the episode at the time that I had.
Uh,
So I'm bringing you 4 female protagonists.
Yeah, you are.
And we are going back to the Golden Girls.
All right.
Yeah.
This time we are watching season 7, episode 2, The Case of the Libertine Belle.
Ooh.
This is I specifically wanted, like, I wanted to get, it was so hard. It was so hard to choose. I wanted a good one. And I wanted one that, like, I very much wanted one that did not have like a very special message. I was
Oh,
like, we
sure.
don't we don't need this. And there was one other one that was really in the running, but it had a special guest star, and I feel like the special guest star really kind of overshadowed a lot of the other stuff. But this is a tight episode. I like this
Oh
one a lot.
man, I'm excited. Golden Girls again, season 7, episode 2, The Case of the Libertine Belle. Where can we watch that, Amy?
That is on Hulu.
right.
Hulu.
Nice.
Perfect.
Can't wait.
Hulu.
All right,
I've got the
wonderful.
perfect shirt to wear for next week too,
Yeah.
provided it's not 80 degrees in here. 'cause
Yes,
it is a
absolutely.
sweatshirt, but I will be wearing it.
Who's I know we got a little bit of feedback, I think, on Blue Sky, but I can't remember. A Stigma had said something. Does anybody have that handy, or I could probably go
Yeah.
hunt it down?
I got it. I at least yeah, he said, I don't remember watching this show. I think the first time I remember seeing Melissa Joan Hart on my TV was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Mhm. Yep, that makes
Mhm.
sense. That makes sense. We didn't get any emails this week, but if you do want to email us, you can do so at thosewerethedayshow@gmail.com. You can also leave us comments on our YouTube channel. I think you can just go to tudorks.net/YouTube and it'll take you there. And you can also find us all on Blue Sky, thosedayshow.bsky.social is where you can find it. And we're all in the show notes if you want to follow all of our independent socials. We would love to have you there. And our Discord is open and ready for you to jump in and join the conversation at tudorks.net/Discord. But until then, it has been a good time talking about Clarissa Explains It All, and we hope that you get a lot out of it. If you ever need some facts or some help with your life, there's probably a Clarissa episode for it. But until next time, I'm Steven, Amy, and for Amy, Travis, and Audie, enjoy your day and go climb in some windows or something. Buy a pet alligator.
Maybe don't do that.
Your own windows, not other people.
Climb in windows with consent.
As the theme song said, nah, 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 nah.